Possibly one of the most powerful mutants in the Marvel Universe, Scarlet Witch has been a mainstay of the Avengers roster since the 60s, but left unchecked, her powers can spell disaster. It's a risk I'm willing to take as I assemble a team of the Avengers for Pop D&D. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Pop D&D, the show where I teach you how to take your favorite pop culture characters and turn them into D&D adventurers. We're continuing our Avengers series with this next episode, and we're moving on to your spellcaster in the team. And I figured what better choice to use than Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch was first introduced in 1964 as a member of Magneto's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. But a little more than a year later, she and Quicksilver joined the newly formed version of the Avengers. So with the Scarlet Witch, I figured it'd be a perfect choice to bring back the Tiefling, since we're going to be using a character with a dark background, and we're going to be using a sorcerer for the spellcasting class in this case. Now, more so with any other character you've used before, you're definitely going to need a copy of the Player's Handbook, because there's a lot of spellcasting involved, plus with the choice that we're using for her origin story, we're going to need this because of the Wild Magic Surge. So as I mentioned with Origins, you get your choice of using either a Draconic background or a Wild Magic background for your origin story. I figured that it would be more fitting to use a Draconic background fitting in with the idea of a mutant working in with this, but taking a closer look at the choices for Wild Magic, we worked that into it because Wanda is unstable, and this is a great use for her unstable abilities, especially when you look into the comics. In a series of books that ran from 2004 to late 2005, Wanda Maximoff's powers became so unstable that they led to the deaths of 3 Avengers, briefly reshaped the fabric of reality, and nearly wiped out all of mutant kind. But let's go ahead and get into actually building the character. So we know that we're going to get a +1 to intelligence and a +2 to charisma, and that charisma is important because that is going to be our spell casting ability. So let's go ahead and put our 14 into charisma, giving us a 16 overall. We're going to put our 15 into constitution because we're going to want to make sure that we have a high enough HP with this character. Finally, we're going to put our 13 into intelligence. The rest we're going to put into dexterity, strength, and wisdom in that order. Now with building a sorcerer, you're going to start out with 4 cantrips and 2 first level spells. We've talked about spell casting in the past, but just to remember that you're going to be using your modifier for charisma in this case as your bonus. For her cantrips, we're going to choose Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, Prestidigitation, and True Strike. For her spells, we're going to use Charm Person and Witch Bolt. Now with choosing the Wild Magic background, we're going to get 2 abilities. As I mentioned, we've talked about the Wild Surge, but we're also going to get the Tides of Chaos. The Tides of Chaos essentially allow you to manipulate probability, much as Wanda does in the comic books. Using the Tides of Chaos, you can gain advantage on one attack roll, ability check, or saving throw of your choice. But you're going to need to take a long rest after you do so. And anytime before you regain this ability, your DM can have you make a Wild Magic Surge check to see if that goes off. Let's finally get into the Wild Magic Surge. At your DM's discretion, you're going to roll your d20. If it comes up a 1, your Wild Magic Surge triggers. This basically means that your magic has gotten out of your own control because it wasn't yours to control to begin with. So from here, we're going to take a look at the Wild Magic Surge page to find out what happens. Roll your percentile die, which are your 2 d10s, to determine which spell triggers. We just landed 39. Taking a look in here, it means that's pretty good. We just regained 2 d10 hit points. That's 2 to 20 hit points regained right there. But it's not all great because we could have gotten 67, which is you were frightened by the nearest creature until the end of your next turn. So, Wild Magic isn't always great. It could trigger against you. So that's everything you need for the Scarlet Witch. Let me know if you guys are brave enough to play as this character, and let me know which character from the Avengers you would want to see in a future episode of Pop D&D. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and if you're ready, roll initiative.